bad.
Oh, please!
Yeah!
Energy nap!
Ha! Ha! Are you hurt?
Goodbye! I will win! Be careful!
Yeah!
Energy nap!
Ha! Uh-oh! Unexpectedly weak. My strength!
I'm good! I won't lose. Oh, please!
Yeah!
Flame launcher! Flame launcher! Flame launcher! Piece of
Unexpectedly weak. This is bad.
cake. Be careful.
Yeah! Yeah! Ha! Yeah! Looks like we won.
I will win.
This is bad. Here's the enemy. Yeah! Ha! Ha! Ha!
That was it.
Bad. Here's the enemy.
Wow, you look strong.
Yeah! Uh-oh! Yeah! 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 Stay focused.
We did a nice job. I won't lose. It's gonna be tough.
We have a full score with this. My strength! This is bad.
I'm coming.
Yeah!
Is that it?
This is bad. Here's the enemy.
Be careful.
Yeah! Yeah!
Breath. It's finally gonna lose.
This is bad. Here's the enemy.
Be careful.
We're
It's
out of
hopeless.
here. Behind?
When did they?
Yeah!
You're alive. You're alive. I still can move. I won't leave. You're alive. I don't want.
Yeah!
You're alive. You're alive. Flame launcher. You're alive. I
hurt?
win.
This is bad. Here's the enemy.
Oh no!
Yeah!
What shall I do?
Ha! Yeah! Ha! Ha!
Is that it? Yes.
stay focused.
Weaker than I thought. Yoo-hoo, Barney!
Come here, Barney!
Yoo-hoo, Barney! Yoo-hoo, Barney!
Come here, Barney!
Hey, Barney! Hey, Barney! Hey, Barney!
Come here, Barney!
Come here, Barney!
Come here, Barney!
Come here, Barney! Hey, Barney! Yoo-hoo, Barney! Yoo-hoo!